Hello students and welcome to this video. This video is just going to be a quick review of how we can add, subtract, multiply and divide negative numbers. I'm just going to go over the rules here. So if you need any explanations about how did we come up with these rules and why do they make sense, please refer to the explanation video. This video is just to review the rules really quick and start to use them immediately after that. I'm going to start by dividing the rules into two parts. The first part, we're going to talk about the rules of multiplication and dividing negative numbers. Let's take a simple example that everybody knows the answer for it. What's the answer for 2 times 3? That's a positive 6, right? Look at this. It's a positive number here. Positive 2 times a positive 3 gives us a positive 6. Well, according to the rules of multiplication and division, we also have, if we have negative 2 times a negative 3, that's also going to give us a positive 6. What do these two have in common? Look at the signs here. What's the sign of the 2 above in the first one? It's a positive number. What's the sign of 3 here? It's also positive. We ended up having a positive answer. What about the second case? The sign for the first one is a negative. And the sign for the 3 here is also negative. They do have the same signs. So we ended up having a positive answers. And that's the first rule. What's the first rule? When we have same signs, when multiplying or dividing same signs, whenever we have same signs multiplied or divided by each others, the answer is always going to give us a positive answer. The answer is always going to have a positive sign. Okay? And also that applies on a division, for example. We can say, if we have something like negative 8 divided by a negative 4. To find the answer, we will say, okay, divide normally. 8 divided by 4 is just 2. And look at the signs. They do have same signs, right? Same signs, the answer is positive. So immediately we will put a positive sign in the answer. That's a positive answer. Okay? We can also say, what about different signs? Well, you can expect that whenever they have different signs, the answer is going to be negative. But let's take an example here. A negative 5 times 2. What's the sign of the 5 here? It's a negative. Okay, what's the sign of the 2? It's a positive sign. So they do have different signs. They don't have same signs. In this case, the answer will have a negative sign. Okay, and we just multiply normally. 5 times 2, that's a 10. Okay, so that is the second part of the rule actually. Whenever we have different signs in multiplication and dividing, in multiplying and dividing different numbers, whenever we have different signs, we always end up with a negative sign in the answer. Okay? So that's general. Whenever we have different signs, the answer must have a negative sign. Okay? But this seems like a confusing rule. What if we forgot the rule? What do we do if we just forget the rule? We don't know what to do. Okay? Well, there is another way we can follow and find the answers simply. We can draw the following face. It has a negative sign and another negative sign as eyes, and its mouth is just a positive sign. Okay? Now we can apply the following technique. Whenever we have a sign in the question, we just use one of our fingers to hide it from the face. For example, let's take this example right here. Negative 2 times negative 3. Okay? What's the sign of the first number? A negative 2. It's a negative sign, right? Okay, let's go to the face, use one of your fingers and hide a negative sign. Any one of these. just hide a negative sign. Okay, times, what's the next number? It's a negative number. So hide another negative sign. So with another finger, hide the other negative sign. What do you end up with? A positive sign. So that's going to be the sign of the answer. Okay? All right, let's try another one. Let's say, for this example, a negative sign here divided by a negative sign. Again, we will hide the negative sign for the first number and a negative sign for the second number. The answer is going to be a positive, so we place a positive right here. Okay? What about this one right here? A negative number multiplied by a positive number. The first number is -5, so it's a negative. Let's hide a negative sign. The second number here is positive. It's a positive too, so let's hide the positive sign. Use another finger and hide the positive sign. What do we end up with? A negative sign, so that's going to be the sign of the answer. Okay? This is a useful technique. We can try it on another example. Let's write the following example as -15 divided by +3. Well, we can follow the rules and say, okay, the 15 here is negative and the 3 is a positive. So they do have different signs, so the answer must be a negative answer. And then we divide normally. 15 divided by 3 is just a 5. Or you can use the face and say, okay, 15 here is a negative number, so let's hide by one finger, let's hide the negative sign over here. Divided by a positive number, let's hide the positive sign. What do we end up with? We end up with a negative sign, so this is the sign of the answer. And again, we divide normally. 15 divided by 3, that's just a 5. Okay? You can use both techniques, the face or by memorizing these two rules, to be just like fast in multiplying and dividing negative numbers. Of course, if you need deep understanding of this, you should go to the explanations and the explanation of multiplication and division as a repetitive addition and subtractions. So refer to the explanation video if you feel like this does not make sense. All right, but this is just a quick revision, as we said.